When you face a pile of stones, at first glance it seems like pure chaos, just pieces of nature that no one needs. But if you look closely, if you learn to feel the stone among 100 fragments, there will always be one that stands out. I sift through the stones with my hands, studying their surfaces, searching for a line or texture that catches the eye. And then I find it. An ordinary, gray, unremarkable stone to an outsider, but it's the stone that will become an art object. This is a secret of handmade work. Where others see nothing, a craftsman sees the future creation. I take this stone and carry it to my workbench. From that moment, it ceases to be part of the pile. It becomes the center of attention. Working with natural stone is always about respect for the material. There's no room for error. I put on a respirator, mask, goggles, and ear protection. It's not just safety. It's a kind of ritual. When everything unnecessary is stripped away, it's just me and the stone. In those moments, the noise of the outside world fades, and the only sound is the sound of cutting stone. I take my first tool, a 125mm diamond disc. I need to carefully trim the base to make the piece stable. Cutting stone isn't just a technical process, it's a dialogue with nature. Every movement must be felt because the stone resists. It's incredibly hard, and the disc struggles. That's when you realize working with stone isn't a fight, it's a collaboration. If the tool isn't working, you need to change your approach. I switch to another saw. With it, I manage to trim the material slightly, working in a circular motion. As I cut, I use a hammer to break off excess pieces. In every strike, there's an element of sculpture. It's not destruction, but the liberation of the form hidden within. Hammer and chisel, disc and grinder, all are extensions of the craftsman's hand. This is how a handmade piece is born, one that can never be replicated. By the way, friends, tell me, which city and country are you from? I'm always very curious about where my stone creations end up and where people are viewing them. Next, I take a larger disc, 150mm. Now the cutting is more confident. Every piece that breaks away reveals a new face of the stone. It's like archaeology. Layer by layer, you remove the unnecessary until only the essential remains. This is the do-it-yourself principle, not a factory, not a machine, but a person and a stone. Now, I want to ask you a question. What do you think this art object is? What does it resemble to you personally? To some, it looks like an ancient fish. To others, a monster or perhaps something entirely different. Share your thoughts in the comments. It'll be really interesting to compare. Then comes the moment when a large grinder is necessary. I pick it up. It's heavy, but it's the only way to handle this material. The disc bites into the stone, and the familiar sound fills the air, cutting stone at full power. This noise is like the breath of the workshop. Gradually, step by step, the base is cut and the stone falls into pieces. Now it can stand upright. Now it has form, stability. I grab a drill and attach a 100mm diamond bit. This isn't just a tool, it's a sculptor's brush. With the drill, I can create hollows, give the stone new texture, new life. Every hole, every circle, every cut is a step from an inanimate object to a living one. That stone, which moments ago lay unnoticed, is already transforming into an art object, a stand, a handmade creation. There's a special philosophy here. Value isn't always in what shines, but in what has soul. I begin drilling the stone. At first, I drill dry to feel its resistance. The sound of the diamond drill biting into the rock reminds me of the earth's breath. Every millimeter is hard-won. Natural stone always tests the craftsman's strength. Gradually, I add water. It cools the drill, eases the process, and helps the tool penetrate deeper. Water and stone merge, like elements that have shaped this material for centuries. Now they meet again, this time in human hands. I grab a hammer to assist the tool, but the stone is so hard that even the hammer's handle breaks. It's a reminder of how ancient and resilient the material before me is. No wonder they say, stone is eternal. It doesn't yield easily. It demands patience and respect. And there's a special philosophy in this. Only persistence and determination allow you to turn a fragment of nature into an art object, a handmade creation. I pick up the drill again with a 100mm bit and keep drilling. Deeper and deeper. The stone resists, but gradually it opens up space within. Each hole is a step toward the future piece, a step toward transforming lifeless material into something alive. Next, I take a grinder with a 125mm disc. In the areas where I've drilled hollows, I carefully cut small segments. With a hammer, I knock them out. It's meticulous work. Do it yourself here isn't just a slogan, it's a necessity. Only with hands, only with patience can you achieve the result. I drill again with the same 100mm bit. Each time the disc or drill enters the stone, I think, for millions of years, it was whole, indivisible. And now in the workshop, it's revealing itself. It gains meaning, form, and value. What yesterday seemed like just a heavy fragment is becoming an art object, a work of art. Now I take a chisel and hammer. They're simple, but it's with simple tools that most ancient masterpieces were created. Each strike is like a period in a sentence, an accent in speech. The excess falls away, leaving only what truly matters. After that, I grab the drill and attach an 80mm bit. I work with water again to keep the metal and stone from overheating. And once more I hear that distinctive sound. The drill cuts through the stone, and the water hisses as if bringing the process to life. Every millimeter requires effort, but every millimeter is a step forward. With the hammer, I knock out more excess pieces. Gradually, the inner space expands, and a hollow forms in the stone where a wine bottle will rest. This is no longer just a blank. It's the beginning of a form, the start of an art object story. And once again I pick up the 100mm bit. I keep drilling, deepening, expanding. This is a process that can't be rushed. The stone demands a slow, thoughtful approach. Every step is a reminder. Handmade work isn't about speed, it's about mindfulness. It's about how a natural material becomes an art object, one that will live on as a unique piece in someone's home. I continue drilling the stone. Sometimes it feels like an endless process. The drill goes deeper. The hammer and chisel chip away excess, more cutting, more water, more disc changes. It goes on, repeating. And in this repetition, there's something meditative. It's as if you hear the stone's breath, its resistance, its character. This is the philosophy of handmade work, not rushing, but revealing the inner form step by step. I place the stone on the table and for the first time stop to simply look at it. In that moment, I see more than just a blank for a stand. I see an image. I see an ancient creature that seems to have come alive in my workshop. The form resembles a fish, an ancient lizard, some monster from the depth of time. This is the essence of an art object. It ceases to be just a stone and begins to live its own life. I take a high-pressure washer and clean the surface. Dust and dirt vanish, revealing the stone's living texture. Every curve, every vein is a line of history. For hundreds of millions of years, this stone has held its pattern. And now, It's revealed in a new meaning. I place the stone on a stump under the sun to dry. In that moment, it seems to gain strength, warm up, come alive. Once the stone is dry, I take a diamond disc and begin polishing the surface. First with coarse grit, then finer and finer. It's like polishing time, removing the excess until a deep shine emerges. The stone starts to play, reflecting light, coming alive before my eyes. At this stage, I want to leave my mark. I attach a stencil with my logo. It's not just a mark, it's the signature of the craftsman, proof of handmade work. Wearing a mask and ear protection, I take a sandblaster and apply the logo through the stencil with sand. My signature becomes forever woven into the stone structure. Now I take special liquid glass for stone. It enhances the depth of the structure, making the surface richer. I apply the solution with the sponge to the inner part. The color darkens, the pattern becomes vivid, and the surface begins to glow. What was once a rough stone now looks like a sculpture, an art object to be admired. I find a hollow nearby, drip some liquid glass into it, and insert a white stone. Suddenly, the piece comes fully alive. It's no longer just a wine stand. This piece resembles an eye, the eye of an ancient creature, a fish or monster staring at us from the depths of time. The stone gains a soul. In that moment, the inanimate becomes alive. From a pile of unwanted fragments, I chose one. From the inanimate, I created the living. From an ordinary stone, I made an art object. This is the philosophy of my work, to see value where others see none. Do it yourself with your own hands, step by step, and in the end, a unique piece is born, one that will bring joy to people and live its own life.